Hello. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is well. And I just want to say thank you so much for those of you that are watching this live. And for those of you that are watching the replay, I just want to say thank you for spending the time out of your busy day, really, as well. So this is day 3 of the 30-day CEO challenge, and wow, we got some information to give to you. So I'm just going to go through my PowerPoint, and I'm just going to show you that and go through what it is that I want to talk to you about today. So today is about, and I did do a video earlier as well. Today is about day 3, identifying the real market problem which you need to focus on, and that is that you build the foundations of the successful business that you want to really solve in the problem that people have in that market. So what is it that exists that you can help people with, and also what is it that the organization that you are providing can support clients with. And in this video today, I'm going to be teaching you about how you can identify those problems and also validate them, ensuring they build solutions that people truly need and are willing to pay for. Now, why do you need to validate that? Because sometimes when you're in the care sector, sometimes when you're looking at registering with the Care Quality Commission or an organization and you want to do contracts with them, they're going to come up with, well, how do you know that there's a need? How do you know that this service is needed? What have you done to show evidence that you have done your research, your due diligence, and that you've been able to understand what the market is and provide that service to that market, for example. So, hi, I'm Christine Crowell, and I would love for you to listen to this video until the end. I would love for you to click like and subscribe so that when I go live or when I've got a video coming up and I've just uploaded it, you will get notification of this as well. Just drank my water. So hit that button, like and subscribe so that you get notifications here. I hope everyone's doing great and wonderful. I'm going to dive into this a bit deeper. So the foundation of any successful business is solving what the problem is and what it exists in the market. Remember I said about you validating? That means that you would need to really go forward and find out what the need is, because like I said yesterday, I mentioned about when you look at going into the market, for example, and you look at what the need is, you got to find out what the pressing need is and not just go off of what you want to provide, what you want to serve and what you want to do, for example. Even though it does have to align with you, for example, it needs to align, you have to feel good about it, but at the same time you've got to also meet that need, because it's about we and it's not about you, it's about all of us. For example, collaboration is key. So I hope that made sense to you about the validation. You need to speak with the market, talk to them, email them, call them, get them to fill out a survey form, for example, and then they'll be able to tell you what the urgent need is that you can look at providing. Because you don't want to provide what everyone else is providing. You want to make sure that you are providing the right service at the right time, because sometimes depending on locations, the need is going to be different. It could be mental health in one section more need, and then it could be dementia, for example, or it could be elderly care, or it could be learning disability. And I'm giving some examples of the specialisms that you'll be looking to do, for example. So once you know what the specialisms are, the service that you want to deliver or the product that you want to deliver, then meet that need. So why is it important? The foundation of a thriving business is its ability to solve the problem, and what that problem is and why it exists in the market. You need to be able to explain what's happened, get some data statistics, speak to government organizations, speak to councils, speak to social services, for example, speak to service users, speak to family and friends, for example. The list goes on really. Your local daycare centers, your local community centers, whatever the age group is, then you need to look at it. That's if you're doing healthcare, for example. And I'm using that because that is one of my niches, and I've been in healthcare for over 35 years. Although I'm now expanding and doing businesses of all types as well, as a coach, that is. So, like I said, validate. It's key. You've got to validate and see what people are willing to pay for. Then you've got to think about how to uncover the market needs. We'll be talking about how you can dive deep into the market, research techniques, showing you how to listen to the target audience through online forums, social media, industry reports, and direct feedback. So let's look at this. Very important here. So just so that I can focus with you here. Learn how to ask the right questions. You've got to do that. If you don't ask the right questions, then you won't listen to what the need is, and then you're just going to go off and do your own thing because you haven't listened properly, and you'll miss the gaps in the market, and then you'll end up doing what everybody else is doing. You don't want to do what everyone's doing. You want to be different. You want to stand out, for example. Do multiple different businesses, like I mentioned earlier. You've really got to be like the cat. They always say the cat has 9 lives. Well, you've got to look at multiple income streams. Don't do what I did, where I just had government contracts, and it was just purely with government contracts was my bulk of my business, for example. So that when that contract was, for example, cut in half and it wasn't financially viable, it left me vulnerable. And I had a small percentage of private clients, and it turned out that the private paid clients were actually paying double more than what the government one was. And because I was so busy being busy and not thinking about the practicalities of the financial cash flows, etc., I just wanted to care. I wasn't thinking about, counting every penny. I wasn't doing that, which is wrong. I should have done. But like I said, if I did do that and I came across an issue, then I could have done, for example, the virtual assistants, for example, in the office. I'm not talking about delivering the care because that's not practical when it's virtual, for example. And they're not qualified, and they're not in the UK as well. So you want to be able to understand your customers' pain points. So every business opportunity lies in solving that problem for specific groups of individuals, service users, people. So what I want to help you to learn today is to map out your ideal customer's journey, identify the frustrations, struggles that they face, and I'll be discussing with you methods like customer interviews. And this is where customer interviews is where you're talking to the client, for example, and asking them certain questions about what they would like to see happen, for example. How do they want their care to be delivered, for example? What do they feel is missing in the market that they would like to receive, for example. You can do this as well by sending surveys as well to your potential clients as well. Engage in online communication as well to gather insights directly from the source. So you want to ensure that you're validating the problems in the market, and once you have identified a potential problem, then it's time to validate it. And I'll be talking to you about how you can validate this. Is that you, for example, you would say that I have sent a survey to a number of emails, for example, or I've sent a letter, number of emails, 100 per day, for example, that you've sent out to organizations with a view to seeing what the needs are. So this will then ensure that you are facing the problem and that it is real, but you've also targeted your market to see if there's enough value in solving it in order to invest your time and your money. So why addressing the real problem makes your business irresistible? So when you solve a problem that truly matters to people, you don't have to convince them at all to buy your solutions. They will be actively searching for it. So we'll be focusing on today about how you can position your business as the perfect solution to the problem by you targeting audiences and also the problems that they face. I'll be talking to you about how this approach puts you ahead of your competitors, enabling you to capture the market share and build long-term loyalty. Now imagine if you've spoken with your potential clients or organizations that have these clients, for example, then you will know what the need truly is. Not just, oh, I'm just going to register my company, I'm going to open up a bank account, and I know what it is that I want to provide. You got to do your research first. You really do. Otherwise, you could be barking up the wrong tree. You could be providing a service that could be saturated. So that's going to then not help you to make money. I always say to the market is that you've got to be specialized. You've got to be specialized. You've got to be different from everyone else. Don't just be generic. There's lots of generic out there. We don't want ordinary. We want the extraordinary. We want people that will go that extra mile. For me, I've been in healthcare for 35 years. So I've been practicing this for 35 years, for example. I know all of the pitfalls because I've been there. I've done it, I've worn the t-shirt, and I know it, pitfall-wise as well. So, and by showing up and knowing what the market needs, then you're able to offer a true service, not just something out of a textbook or something that you've copied from someone else. Because if you do it that way, then that's not going to be coming from you. You're not going to be genuine. Okay? So, just wanted to mention that. So, get to know your market inside out. The better you understand the challenges that they face, then it's easier for you to become the solution to meet their needs. Avoid building any, vacuum, for example. Real success comes from creating what the market really wants, not what you think that they want. Validation is key. Before going all in, you need to validate. You want a problem, look at what that problem is and ensure that you are there to meet that demand for the solution that you're planning to provide. I hope that that's making sense what I'm saying to you so far, and I hope that you've got a pen and paper as well. I'm just going to drink my water. So, you've gone through this with me about the knowing what your market is in order to meet the challenges. And challenges, you will talk to the person that's going to be using your service and to find out what their problems are, what challenges are they facing, you know, what can you help them with that's going to help alleviate that stress. So here's some action steps that I want you to take. I want you to do homework. I would like for you to identify a potential problem within your market. Get a pen and paper. This is going to be part of your homework, to look at what the market problem is in your locality of where you are. So what I'd like to do is for you to do some initial research and validate that this is a problem and what it is the problem is, so that how are you going to then meet that problem now that you know what that situation challenge is for your customer, for example. So I'd love for you to drop your problem statement. I'd love for you to do a problem statement, and that is whereby you've made a list of what the problems are. You've interviewed someone maybe, or you've spoken with someone and you've written down what the problems are, and the statement of how you're going to fulfill that need. What are the aims and objectives of how you're going to meet that need, for example. I'd love to personally review some of those. I really would love that. I'd also offer feedback on how you can refine your focus, for example, and then what you can do is really make it part of your business, part of your DNA for your business. Another thing I'd love to mention is that you need to celebrate micro wins within your organization, within you. Because if you show up and you do the work, if you improve by 1% daily, within that year, you would have improved 365%. Isn't that amazing? Imagine the level of work that you'll be able to achieve and the service that you'll be able to deliver. It'd be amazing. So we're going to go into some habits here, because I think it's important to do this, because when people go into business, they really don't sort their mindset out. They think that it's going to just fall into their laps and hey presto, wave a magic wand, I've got this business, it's all set up. You've seen those things, those pop-up things, you know. Some people think a business is like that. It's not a pop-up business. You got to put the effort in, you got to do the research, you got to make sure that the clients are there to meet the need, for example, that you want to provide. Otherwise you're wasting your time, your money and resources. But you've also got to have the right mindset. You can't be like an octopus. It's got to be structured. You can't keep jumping from one thought to the next. You've got to be strategic and logical as well, and other things. But also it's got to come from, you got to heal your inside in order to be able to deliver world class on the outside. So as you can see here, it says a journey of 1,000 miles must begin with one simple step. You're taking that step, and in your business, whether you are doing a 9-to-5 job right now, one thing I want to say to you is, if you're working for an employer, you always leave your job on good terms. You never leave on bad terms. No matter if you didn't get on with your boss or whatever, you should never leave on bad terms, because you never know when you're going to need them, when you're going to need a reference, when you're going to need, a phone call to say, oh yes, they did work for us and they were very good. I would highly recommend them. Don't burn your bridges. Don't think, oh, I'm out of here, and don't give them your notice or just give bad performance, because that means that you could actually bring that into your business. If you don't have that integrity, then that can cause a problem. So I want to mention this because some of you will be leaving your 9 to 5. But please, please, please leave on good terms. I've had it where I've had staff work for me and they come back a year, 2, 3 years later, and they want a reference. And they'll get a reference because they haven't done anything to make me not want to give them a reference. And for example, I'll give you an example here. They would not accept anything apart from they wanted to speak to the previous employer, the previous persons. They checked out the Facebook. They saw the activity on Facebook. So another thing, if you are looking at being professional, then people can see your comments on Facebook. It's public, for example. So be mindful of that, because you never know when you need someone. So like I said, a journey of 1,000 miles must begin with one simple step, and then you take more steps. It's like when you're walking through, the woods or the grass, for example. You walk on the grass, don't you? And each time you do it, each day you go back to it, you create a path. And then that path then becomes a track, for example, or a road. And you created that. See the same as you create in your business. But you've also got to look after yourself from within. Just like the pilot says. He says, put your mask on first before you help someone else, because you've got to make sure that you've looked after yourself before you can help others, for example. I also want to mention that, when you're in business, it's not something that is quick, fast and easy. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes time. It takes years. Yes, some people, they are lucky and they've, done it within 6 months, for example. But it does take years. And there's going to be times where it's going to be challenging, financially as well as mentally. And businesses, they go through, it's up and down. It's like you climbing a mountain. It's like the chart is like a mountain climbing. 1 minute you're up there, next minute you're back down again. It's like a stock market. You're up and then down. You get your peak periods, you get your quiet periods, you get your seasonal periods where everything can go boom, quiet, dead, nothing comes in, and then you get your busy periods. So you're going to be faced with challenges, but what you've also got to do is try and create some habits that's going to help you to cope with challenges so that you're strong to be able to overcome that obstacle. Because once you've overcome that obstacle, there will be another one that you will come across, not straight away, but it will happen. And it could be another. Expect challenges. It's natural to have challenges. It's natural to feel, oh, this is hard work. I don't like this. This is hard work. But you've got to overcome those challenges. And by creating those daily habits, like I talk about, the daily habits that I do, the 5 a.m. club, that I do, whereby I read this book and it's absolutely amazing. It's by Robin Sharma, called 5 a.m. Club. For example, I even cut pages out, and you'll see it behind me on my board here, because I like to do that, so that I really get a good feel of the book. But you create the habits to help you cope with challenges that you face throughout the working day, for example, or even in your life, in your personal life. So, for example, like I do, I get up at 4:45 in the morning. I start my exercise 5 o'clock in the morning, high intensity, and then I read a page in the Bible, for example. Then I will pray. Then I will meditate for 20 minutes, and then I will journal for 20 minutes. But I also will be doing development. I'll be learning about something that's going to grow me, because I want to grow. So I love a challenge. I love it. I don't get upset anymore. I used to, when I was, in my 30s and 40s, I was emotional. With my business, I was emotional. And it's not good to run a business on emotions. You have to run a business on, strength, resilience. And yeah, of course, you're going to feel a bit, emotional, but you have to snap out of it. It's going to hit you at some point, but you've got to snap out of it, and you've got to get back to the focus of the future, of what you want your business to be like and what you want to be like. So when when you're being hit with an emotional trigger, for example, think to yourself, is this an opportunity for me to grow? What can I learn from this? Is this serving me? Is it going to help me to grow? Help me to work towards my vision, my legacy, for example? Or is it something that's a distraction that's going to stop me from growing? So that's what I think when I'm hit with anything that's emotional or challenging. I literally, if it's not serving me, I will cut it off totally. Done. I don't go back. I stay forward and I move forward. But if we don't create habits and have values, then it's going to be hard to cope with these challenges and be logical when dealing with those challenges. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have feelings and be upset. You acknowledge that being upset, but you don't live there. Just like if you fall, you stand up and get back up, right? So I just wanted to mention that to you. So what I'd like you to do is look at, what are your 5 values? 5 values. For example, are you serving? That could be your value. Are you looking for, what is your cause? What's your example, for example? So that was a bit of a strange one. So think about what your 5 values are and write them down and think about it. You've got your notepad. You can see, well, I'll show you my notepad. It's huge. This is my notepad. It's huge. I love writing. I just love it. Love writing. I love reading. The weekends I read a whole book over a weekend. I just get so engrossed in it because it takes me off of the computer, gets me thinking outside of work. It also helps me to then become creative with my content as well. So I would highly recommend reading entrepreneurs, things that's going to help you become the leader that you want to be, if you're not that already. So write out your 5 values. And I hope that you're enjoying this. Like I said, if you are watching this, click like and subscribe for example, so that you get the trainings as they come through. So by creating habits, it really does give you structure. Like me, I block off when I start my work regime, for example, after I've poured into myself in the morning, where I've done my walk for 1 hour and 45 minutes. So basically I do two hours exercise a day. So I do forest bathing, forest bathing is when you go out into the forest, you listen to the trees and you look at the birds, you smell the tree, you smell the pine if you have pine or moss, just smell the earthy smells, the soil, for example. I'm not saying to go down on your knees and start sniffing the soil, for example, not that, but you can smell it whilst you're walking, for example. Another thing that I do is I go and I walk along the seafront, and that is a form of nature bathing, for example, because what I do there is I listen to the waves crashing against the shore. I smell the fresh sea air. I look at birds that are flying, the hawk that I talk about quite a lot, which I call the CEO, my CEO, because the hawk is on top, just looking and scanning. And then what it does is it lands at the right time because it wants to get, the predator wants to get something, and then it doesn't stay down on the ground for long, it gets back up again so it can scan. You as the CEO really should be working towards that, you should be working on your business and not in it. You shouldn't be on the ground for too long. You got to get back up and scan, because otherwise you're going to miss very important critical things, whether someone is trying to damage your business or whether someone is doing well. You can see that the cogworks are working well, and that the team members are working well. Everyone's doing their job. Everyone is a leader, because I always say that we are all leaders. It's not just me. You have to lead yourself. Otherwise you're going to be micromanaged, and some people don't like to be micromanaged, and I certainly haven't got time to be checking and micromanaging as well. So create some good habits. Do some meditation, run, exercise, weights, whatever it is that you do. So create those habits. Listen, you will get knocked down in your business on multiple occasions, and I'm not going to sugarcoat things, on multiple occasions, but you've got to get back up. Got to get back up. You can't stay down. You got to get back up and get back into running your business and scanning and making sure it is working effectively for you. Otherwise you have to look at pivoting and changing. Create multiple streams of income. Try 9 things, for example, and then you'll see which one works best and see which one resonates with you. You'd be surprised. A direction that you haven't thought that you would have gone into, you go into that direction, and that ends up being the one that you're happy with, for example. So look at what it is that you really want to do. Obviously find out what the need is, but see what also resonates with you. But like I said, you will get knocked down in business, and I'm here to tell you the truth so that you get your mindset right before we continue this 30-day challenge. So, wow. So tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to create your 1-year vision board. This is my vision board here. And I would like for you to create your 1-year vision board, and we'll be going into that tomorrow. I'll give you some examples. I do have a video here, and I will put it here, about how to create your vision board, so that you can even watch that ahead of time. And then when you're with me here tomorrow, get your vision board. Look, I'll show you something simple. I might even put it on here for you anyway, the vision board. So this is like a board from the shop. I've got some colored pins. You can get a magazine, for example, and then just get the images that you want, and then you pin it up, for example. So I have done a video, and it will be here somewhere you'll see the link somewhere, so that you'll be able to watch it ahead of tomorrow, so that hopefully you'll be able to join me tomorrow and create your own vision board with me. And I'll go through some of the things of what I've done and how I've created it, so you'll get to see a demonstration, for example. And I'll probably do it on the whiteboard as well, so I'll be standing up and I'll be showing you that tomorrow. So I hope that you found today's training helpful, and what I also want to say to you is thank you so much for being here today. You know, it's such a blessing to have you here, and I just want to say thank you so much, and God bless you all. And let's keep peaceful, let's do our best, let's serve this world, and let's work and collaborate together. Let's help one another through difficult times, because we all will face difficult times, but we should support one another. And this is why I'm doing my free videos here, because I want to support you to be the best version of yourself. I really do. So thank you so much, everyone. I've really enjoyed talking to you today, and I hope that you've enjoyed today's training as well. And I'd love for you to join me tomorrow for day 4 and create your vision for 2025. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, and God bless you. Take care. Goodbye. Thank you.